We have a couple of special guests coming on today. Gigu is an app that just came out just in the US a couple of weeks ago. And I know quite a few people have already downloaded it, but we have the founders and CEOs of on right now, which is Pedro and Luis. So Pedro, Luis, thank you for coming on. How you guys doing?
Great, thank you for the invitation. Glad to be here.
Thank you, Chris. Nice to see you again, Sergio.
Guys, how are you guys doing? So they're in Brazil at the moment. And let's get right into it, guys, because since you're in Brazil and, well, now it's called Gigu, but how did you guys start all this? How did it happen? It started in Brazil. You're in Brazil. What's the market like there? And I know Brazil actually Rio is in the top 5 Uber cities, actually. And so tell us a little bit about the past, and then we're going to talk about the present, and then we're going to talk about the future. So floor is yours. Okay.
Thanks again for being here. Good opportunity for you guys to send a happy birthday to Pedro, because it's his birthday today.
Happy birthday, Pedro.
I would have let that go, Pedro, sorry. So we're starting in 2017. Pedro and I were friends since we're from high school. And one day we were like, he just finished the previous startups that we created here. And one day Pedro approached me and said, have you ever thought about how hard the life of an Uber driver is? And I was like amazed by that question, because it made me feel so bad, because I started thinking about it. Yeah, I don't know much about how their life is. What do you suggest? I said, I think we need to do some research on this. And then we created a survey. We hopped into more than 100 rides here in Rio, talking to drivers. And this actually shown how little we knew about their reality. And then at the end, we always said, give me a number. We don't know what we're going to build for you guys, but give me your contact number, and you're going to be the first one to know what we decided to build. And at that time, what we came up, the idea, the solution that we created, was to rent underused parking lots and build a one-stop shop where drivers could stop and solve all their needs, but especially a place of gathering, a place of community where they could exchange experience. Hence the name Stop Club. And we scaled that in 2018, 2019. We're finishing 2019 with 12 locations in Rio. We were opening the first 2 locations in São Paulo when the pandemic hit, and we had to close it out. But I say this without fear of being mistaken, but I doubt there's anyone at Uber or Lyft that had as many meals with Uber drivers as we did. In the beginning, especially, we did everything. I mean, we cleaned cars, we served their meals, we had lunch, many lunches with them. So we got a deep knowledge about what they needed. And for us, the pandemic, it's not bad to say, but it was almost like a blessing in disguise. Even though we had so many tragedy with the pandemic, but for us, it was a time for reflection and to think about how we can change our business, and to come up with a solution that it's what it is now after a lot of pivots and adjustments, but a solution that can solve this problem all around the world, because it is a global problem. It's not a problem of Rio. The pain, the struggle that Rio drivers or São Paulo drivers are pretty much the same as drivers in the US, Mexico, whatever. So we decided to look at our business with a different approach, a more ambitious one and a more challenging one as well. So right over there.
So Luis or Pedro, let's talk quickly, couple of minutes about, there are third-party apps that I know of, and Uber and Lyft. Well, and Lyft is in the we call Lyft the little tree, Uber the big tree. So I'm gonna say Uber mostly. I'm not gonna say Uber and Lyft. So Uber is not fond of these third-party apps, right? So they tried to actually shut you guys down, and there was an app called Para, and DoorDash tried to shut them down. So these companies they're not transparent to start with, and they don't want the driver to have a clue of what the job entails. as an independent contractor, that kind of sounds backwards anyway. But so you had some trouble with Uber in Brazil, and so give us a little bit of color on what happened and how did that end up?
Okay, so real quick, they filed this lawsuit against us. I remember it was a Monday, and we received the subpoena. And right on Friday, they called us and said they wanted to get a meeting for try to settle. So it made no sense. But they claim in this lawsuit that we were stealing data from passengers, that we were violating passenger privacy, and then a bunch of other stuff that made no sense. And we said, we are not doing any of this. We see ourselves as court. So the lawsuit continued, and the last decision, the last ruling was in our favor. Like, was a 3-0 from the Supreme judges, 3-0 for us, and that allowed us to continue to offer our services here in Brazil.
Okay, so the situation in Brazil seems like was resolved in your favor, right? And obviously, Uber does this because they feel threatened for some reason or another. Now, I'm wearing a shirt today that says #KnowYourWorth. 3 years ago, when we started the show, I said everybody in whatever they're doing, regardless, rideshare driver or a software engineer, you have to know your worth. If you don't know your worth, nobody's going to give it to you for free. However, there are tools that you can use, such as Gigu, that will actually teach you what you're worth, because a lot of people, unfortunately, don't know what they're worth. So let's talk about the present a little bit. I know the version of the app in Brazil is quite different than what is being offered in the US. So as opposed to talking about the differences, first of all, why did you decide to come to the US? I mean, there could be a threat from Uber in the US as well, but it shows what kind of perseverance you guys have. And obviously that was an expensive adventure, I'm pretty sure, dealing with Uber in South America. But you guys decided to push forward. Why? Why come to the US?
So what happened is that when this lawsuit began, we started to receive a lot of messages from drivers all around the world, and many of them were American drivers. So we thought it was our mission. I mean, we are convinced that we need this solution to go everywhere in the world where these companies exist, and we need to provide the tools that we offer to give transparency, to give drivers a better chance of a higher income, more safety. So it was actually like, okay, if we are going to face legal problems in other countries, so let's do it. I mean, we are not doing what they claim that we're doing. And we received so much support from drivers. I mean, drivers all around the world demanding this gave us the courage to expand to the US, basically.
Yeah, I mean, US is a huge market, obviously, for Uber, and with approximate numbers of 3-4 million drivers just on the Uber platform, delivering or doing rideshare. But tell us a little bit about the app now, right? What it does, what is it? You have some data to back your claims up, such as higher earnings, right?
Yeah.
But I think on these apps, probably the more important aspect of it is safety. For me, when I'm driving and I have literally 8 to 10 seconds while I'm driving on the freeway or while I'm driving in a street, picking somebody up or dropping somebody off, I'm getting bombarded with these offers. And accidents happen within a second. You just look away and something happens, right? Unfortunately, Uber has that timer at 8 to 10 seconds. So tell us a little bit about what the app does, how it functions. And if you do have data as far as better earnings after people using this app, talk to us a little bit about that as well.
Great. I'm going to invite Pedro to explain this a little bit, because this is the part that he loves.
Okay, thank you. So whenever a job offer appears, we analyze the screen and show really quickly, in less than a second, the smart copilot tells in a color grading system if that ride is good, which is a green, if it's so-so, which is yellow, and if it's a bad offer you shouldn't accept, it pays really badly, it shows a red sign. So the driver's in the control to choose which trips they want to accept or not. So it's very simple, and it really helps really on the safety side, because as you said, there are so many offers that appears, and it's hard because you have a passenger with you, maybe it's raining, you have a traffic jam, you have to pay attention to many other things, and we really help in a simple way to let the driver be under control and choose the best trips and get the best earnings. So profit-wise, drivers increase in 30% their profits. It's not only earnings, because sometimes you can work for less time and get to your goal, and so you spend much less. So we also help on the earnings and help you spend less.
Yeah. Well, to walk us through about onboarding, walk us through about how simple this is to use, really, honestly. I mean, I know it, but I want you guys to tell our audience and whoever's going to watch this later how simple it is and why they should download this app.
So you just go to the Play Store, Google Play Store, and search for Gigu. Download the app, and you can activate a 30-day free trial. Don't have to put your credit card or anything. Just start. You have to give some permissions on your phone to us, so we can analyze what's in your screen and then show you the color grading system and some other very important infos.
So basically, the driver sets his or her own filters or parameters, and then the app will, by color coding it, yellow, green, and red, will automatically tell the driver, well, it's green, you should take this trip, or it's red, according to their own parameters, because each city's flow, each city's earnings are different on Uber, right?
Exactly.
But I'm willing to accept, maybe somebody doesn't accept. So
the cost structure of each driver is very different. Maybe you're leasing a car, maybe you're renting a car, maybe you have already paid. It depends on the fuel type that you use. So the cost structure is very different. So the user can input this information, what are good, bads, and good trips and bad trips in terms of miles and in terms of time as well. So if you want to earn more than $40 an hour, and if it below $30 is bad, you input that. If maybe your cost is $1 per mile, you can put that you want to accept offers above 180 or below 140. It really depends on your cost structure. And after inputting that, we don't ask for any credentials. You don't have to put any information from the Uber platform or any other platforms, and then it works really easily.
Right. So the one thing that we need to mention here is Gigu is available only on Android.
Yes.
However, I've said this many times, if you are a rideshare driver and you want to earn the maximum, you need to multi-app. When I'm driving, I have two phones. I've always used Androids. I have two Androids. But if you do have an iPhone, one way to get around it if you want to use this app is go get a $100 Android. Run it off your hotspot on your existing account number, your phone number. You don't need another, phone line. I'm sure all of you have unlimited data. Run it off the hotspot, download the app, and use it on your other phone. There is no reason whatsoever to drive blind. None whatsoever. It's already a risky thing to drive. But the important thing is, besides earnings, I think the safety aspect of this app is really, really important for you guys to understand. So it's obviously color-coded, makes it pretty simple. What as far as the usability, we understand, right? Increasing earnings, drivers are always looking for better earnings, obviously. And there's a cherry picker function in here, right? It's called a cherry picking, right? I mean, as the president of CPU, Cherry Pickers United, and I'm wearing this shirt, I mean, if I don't know my worth, then nobody else knows their worth. So what do you have any data as far as cherry picking versus accepting every trip, which is better for a driver?
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So it's really variable what the driver pay is in terms of what he's earning per mile or per hour. So if you cherry pick and select the best offers, you really have a differential and much better result at the end of the day. So you really have to select the best one so you can up your profits. And of course, all the platforms want you to pick the worst ones, because that's when they get the best value out of it.
What would you say to a driver that's used to accepting everything? Like, accept and go. Whatever the algo throws my way, I'm going to take it. I just want to make a couple $100 a day. That's my goal. It takes me 10 hours to get a couple $100, or it takes me 6 hours to get a couple $100. I'm just going to get my couple $100 and go. Why should he use this app? And if driver that accepts everything, we have a lot of those drivers in our community.
Yeah. Try Gigu.
So the problem is,
you can make way more money. The things that we're seeing here in Brazil is like acceptance rate dropping from like 80% to 25, 27%, and drivers reaching their quotas like faster, going home earlier with more money in their pockets. So it's that simple. By the way, we mentioned safety. I cannot forget to tell that we have a free safety feature, another safety feature that is a secret camera. So you don't have to buy an external camera. I know that you guys, I've seen a lot of your videos, you say every single time, first thing you do, buy a camera. But if you're just starting and you haven't bought a camera yet, if you don't have a camera, you can just use Gigu app, and this feature is totally for free. You can use your cell phone front camera. With 2 clicks on the screen, it records everything that's happening inside the car and records on the background, so nothing changes on the screen. And this is a lifesaver feature.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Uber and Lyft, well, Uber to a larger degree, they do offer in-app audio and video recording now, but it goes to them, right? I mean, this is your own, and when you do it on the Uber app, the rider is notified, and then there's already friction happening on this one. You're just recording. And that's good for you to mention, Luis. So a few more minutes we have that we need to talk about this is when you talked about acceptance rate in Brazil dropping from 80%, 90% to 20, 30%, right? I know this for a fact. Now, Uber may deny this, but I know it for a fact that there is a major acceptance rate problem that these companies are experiencing in the US. The reason for that is obviously pay. Pay has, declined over the last 3-4 years, and there is no question. There's massive data on this. Gridwise did a report, as you guys are aware about that report. They're charging 50-60% more to the rider and paying 30% less to the driver. That's how they're profitable. As a rideshare driver, you have every right to be profitable, and I think Gigu will facilitate that for you guys. But few other things I want to talk about, and I've gotten to know you guys over the last couple of years, but specifically now over the last month or so, since you guys are launching in the US. I know your heart's in the right place, right? I know you want the drivers to flourish and do well. Obviously, there are objections to all these apps. Now, what are some of the common objections you have already heard in Brazil, and what are you doing about it? And what are you going to do about it in the future as far as the app is concerned?
I think that one of the things that we hear a lot from drivers in Brazil say, "Oh no, I do all these math by hand. I can do the math by myself." And as you said previously, Sergio, this is not that simple. Usually they don't make the calculations correctly, but most importantly, it's not safe. I mean, it's not safe for you to drive on a highway looking at your phone screen. Everything that we've been advocating as a society is not to use your cell phone while driving. So how come you have like 7 seconds to decide if you should accept a ride when we know from experience that many of these rides are not profitable? Or if they are profitable, the driver's making like cents or a dollar. So, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. So what we believe in is that you can use technology in your favor to achieve better results. And this is one thing that we talk a lot with people here. Why don't you try it? Try it. It's for free. Yep. And then you can tell me what you think.
Yeah. And so once they try it for 30 days, I saw a comment which I know is erroneous. supposedly there is a Reddit thread that it says this costs $20 a month. It doesn't cost $20 a month, people. But let's talk a little bit about that. Okay, I downloaded the app. I'm comfortable with it. I put my filters in. I worked with it for 30 days. Now time comes. I really like it because in those 30 days, it showed me that I'm earning 20% more, 10% more. It doesn't matter. You're out there 40 hours a week. If you are, and if you're earning just $2 an hour more because you're using Gigu, okay, that's $80 a week. That's $320 a month. That's $4,000 a year. So don't be stupid, people. Download the app, give it a shot. So what are the costs after the 30-day trial? Let's talk a little bit about that.
$6.95 per month.
Right? That's simple enough. $6.95. 30 days from the time they downloaded. They have 30 days to try it out for free. And then $6.95. Okay, that seems, I mean, that's like, for a full-time driver, that's like, I don't know. If you're going to make a couple of extra bucks per hour when you're out there because of Gigu, that's $80 a week already. So I've listened to you guys on a couple of other podcasts or a couple of other forums, okay? And something you read on, actually shout out to Coast, to Matt and Lynn and all the folks up there. They have a wonderful spaces on X. I listened to you guys there, and for your credit, actually, you stayed the whole 2 hours, which was, amazing, right? But at the end of that, you guys read Gigu's manifesto. What I want you guys to do is, I want you guys, now everybody here, I don't know how many few hundred are here, and whoever is listening to this later, please listen to these gentlemen, listen to their manifesto. Let's see what it is. So whoever wants to take that on, you guys go ahead.
Yeah, I can read it real quick. But just before I do that, you know why we stayed the 2 hours up that spaces? Because everything that we accomplished to do that turned out good for the drivers and made a success is because we listen to the drivers.
Yeah.
So we don't waste any opportunities to listen to drivers. So without any further ado, so this is our manifesto. You can check it out on our website. So number one, transparency is not optional; it's essential. Self-explanatory. Everything is self-explanatory. But number two, being profitable should not require workforce exploitation. As we've seen in many research recently, I mean, Uber's increase in revenues basically because they're exploiting drivers. Technology should serve humans, not replace them. Fairness cannot exist without voice. Community beats exploitation. Earnings dignity is a human right. Data should benefit those who generate it.
Yeah, well, there you go, folks. I mean, we talk about these issues all the time about exploitation and about, earnings hassle-free is your right. And it is your right as an independent contractor to decline garbage and know your worth. And this will decline garbage for you guys. Now, if you're going to say, nope, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm driving 70 hours a week, making $2K, accepting every trip. Okay, maybe it's not for you. But again, there's a 30-day free trial. Go ahead and try it. You don't like it? Delete the app. No problem. We have a few minutes remaining. I want to give you guys the floor. And, let's talk maybe a minute or so about the future. Because I see the chat flying. I saw a couple of questions. Is it going to the UK? Is it going global? Let's get that out of the way, and then we'll do we'll answer some questions.
Okay, just to go directly to it. So we're now our efforts are concentrated in the US now. So we cannot tackle multiple countries simultaneously. So we have a roadmap. We're going to we can make adjustments in terms of prioritization in this roadmap, but our focus now is the US. So right on after that, we can discuss other countries because as I said before, it is a global problem. We want to be everywhere. We want to solve this everywhere gig workers need it. But first of all, let's make a big hit in the US, and then we can scale.
Let's take.
But it's really possible that we launch in Canada too. That should be briefly.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Well, North America, let's say, right? You guys are in South America. Are you in Mexico, by the way?
Not yet.
Not yet? Well, that's probably coming up. Okay, so let's answer some questions. Look, so to take care of all this, I'm in touch with these gentlemen, and I'm in touch with Tiago, obviously part of the company. So I voluntarily, I'm going to play their support for a little bit. So if you do have questions that hasn't been answered during this podcast at the moment, please shoot them to me, Sergio at therideshareguy.com. I will forward them. They're really good at getting on it and then getting back to you guys. I did it already, like at least a handful of times already. So let's answer some questions from the audience, and then we'll say goodbye to you guys.
Okay.
Sergio, we do actually have a customer success team here that answers everybody. Inside the app, you can email us. We'll respond to you the next day. Right now, it's only business day, but in Brazil, for example, it's a 24/7 service that we should bring to the US as well.
Okay, but at the moment, just for making things faster, don't worry about it. Send them to me, Sergio at therideshareguy.com. All right, so Rich K says, hey, Gigu, I got a message today stating app has a bug. Now, that's a little general. You should have put like what city you're in, where you're at, what you're doing. Are you on the trial version? Are you on the paid version? We need a little more context, but do you guys know anything about this?
Yeah, first of all, thank you, Rick, for trying it. And if you could send us a print screen of the bug or whatever happened with you, we would love to dig into that and solve this as soon as possible.
Yeah. Okay. Next one.
I can get the cherry picker to work on
I can't get the cherry picker to work on Long Island. Can you guys help, please? Okay.
Yeah, you can touch our support, as I said, through email. We really need more context to understand what's happening. There could be a couple of issues. For example, if on your state or city, there's no information about, for example, what Uber or other platforms are paying you. If that doesn't appear, the cherry picker won't work. Okay, it only works with everything that's on your screen that we analyze. So that could be one of the cases that it doesn't work. Or, for example, you didn't give the right permissions on your configuration. So it could be a lot of things that we need more context to understand and help you out.
Okay.
I think people are trying. Good.
Okay, Steph says it's way too hard to turn on and off and turns on frequently on its own, thus privacy, I'm assuming, to all my info on my phone that shows up. Way too compromised. What do you say to that?
Okay, that's a really good question. We just launched today this new version, which solves that. Before we had this issue, it was because the cherry picker was turning off by itself on some phones. So we made a way that it wouldn't turn off. But on some phones, it's not on every phone. On some models, it was just not turning off because we solved this other bug. But right now, this new version, so please, Steph, update your app. That won't happen again. You just can turn on or turn off. When you turn off, it won't show up again. Okay.
Yep. So I squeezed one more, Chris. Let's end on a positive note. And Rich, who asked the first question, we'll end with Rich. He says, so far, I love this app. There you go. Now, there's going to be people, okay, but, most of our crowd are veterans, right? They can do the math. It's all good, right? However, this is not about doing math, folks. There is as many of veterans as there are newbies. And newbies are the ones, actually, that take all that garbage trips because they don't know any better and they don't watch us. I mean, as big as we are, our reach is 300,000 drivers. There's 3 million of them out there. So the point is 30 days for free, nothing to lose, really. I mean, if you're going to complain about this, I think you guys are in the wrong business. But let's finish it off, guys. So I'll give you guys the floor, close it up, and, obviously we'll be in touch. And there we go.
Just real quick on my side, then I will let Pedro say whatever he wants. But if people are finding any bugs, please, we want to know it. We want to get the app as as the best version as it can be. We want to listen to what you want as new features, new ideas. We want to develop this alongside drivers, as we did here in Brazil. We want to bring the same idea, the same vision, the same concept to the US. Same thing, the same things that we believe in are the same. As Sergio said, this is actually our history and what we developed so far. So please give us any sort of feedback. We want the tough ones as well. Please, these are the ones that make us grow. And the more people cherry pick, better earnings for everybody. Because if everybody's cherry picking, then the companies, they only have one thing to do: increase how much they're paying for you guys.
And our objective here is very much about education. So we need to help drivers educate that it's actually a business. You can't look only for your earnings, for example, because there's a lot of operational costs. So when you talked about accepting everything, there are many cases which the costs are higher than what you're getting paid. So at the end of the day, you can get maybe a good earning, but it, like the result after a week, you say like, well, I don't see anything in my bank account. What happened? I earned so much. There are a lot of costs over there. So you have to be intelligent. This game has become really hard. So cherry picking really makes a difference. So we're here to educate new drivers, old drivers that do everything with their head and still want to doing the math on their head. I suggest you not to use our app, because once you use it, you won't go back.
Well, I'm gonna end on this. I've been driving for 10 years. Okay, when I drive, I'm on autopilot. Okay, but even in autopilot, there is pressure to focus, to pay attention to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. Right? This one will relieve that pressure, and I'll be a better autopilot probably of myself. So I am definitely going to use it. I'm going to give it a try, and I'm a straight shooter. I'm going to tell you guys what I think of it. But at the moment, it looks very promising. So thank you, guys. Thank you for coming on, Luis and Pedro. Love your manifesto. I think you should just plaster that everywhere.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Sergio.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Yep, thank you.
All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you'll be notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.